Dawn Staley, a three-time national champion. Ryan Rucco, the Hall of Famers. Rebecca Lobo, Holly Rowe with you. Appreciate you hanging out with us for this terrific contest. 18 straight wins for South Carolina against LSU. It has been 5,169 days since LSU beat South Carolina. Does that change today? Here we go. The rivalry renewed between the Gamecocks and the Tigers.
LSU starting out in the man-to-man defense, switching on to Tessa Johnson. Nice finish, or nice look for a caught inside.
Couldn't finish the first two times. Another chance here. Latson dishes underneath. That time, O'Cott will finish.
And of course, in the meeting on February 14th, a couple of the big stories. One, Tessa Johnson was terrific in that game. Who can guard Tessa?
And O'Cott was excellent as well at 12 points, 17 rebounds. An early board there for O'Cott. Quickly down the floor, Latson finds the cutter. It's O'Cott again. Dish it out, Edwards, mid-range, won't go.
Joyce Edwards was so good yesterday on both ends of the floor in South Carolina's win over Kentucky. Played with so much energy.
Dawn Staley telling us she loved her activity as Michaela Williams can't finish, and O'Cott, another rebound.
You know, South Carolina likes to push the pace end to end.
Edwards draws two. O'Cott traveled, and South Carolina turns it over. Who can guard Tessa? That was the question Kim Mulkey asked back on Valentine's Day. And it has sparked many t-shirts.
Lots of merch.
I hope Tessa or Kim has trademarked. Well, you know, the government isn't exactly snappy with that process, so.
It's a better reflection on Tessa, however.
Here's Williams. Kaya Johnson leaves it way short. Tessa saves it to O'Cott. Here's Latson, who's distributing, was terrific yesterday. Latson gonna take it herself.
Latson's so good when she gets out in the open floor. Nice outlet pass by O'Cott that time to help her get that momentum.
Latson had 6 assists in yesterday's win as Richard, who really struggled from the floor in the first meeting between these teams, was just 1 of 10, hits her first look today. O'Cott pounding it underneath, couldn't finish it.
Nice double team from Flau'jae Johnson that time to come in and help on O'Cott.
Flau'jae spinning, laying, got fouled. Foul is given to Joyce Edwards, her first. As Flau'jae sinks the free throw. February 14th, Flau'jae Johnson had a chance to tie or put LSU in front with 45 seconds to go and missed both free throws. Hits her first two from the line here today. Here's Raven Johnson cupping it up and in.
Really nice job by Raven Johnson, just turning the corner and getting an easy look.
Oh, Flau'jae, the start to stop, and she is fouled by O'Cott. Let's check in with Holly Rowe.
Well, after Flau'jae Johnson missed those huge free throws, Kim Mulkey in her film session a couple of days later said, listen, I want to acknowledge she got herself to the free throw line. It was a positive, and those missed shots were not why we lost that. Coach, I want you to keep coaching us hard. I want you to keep holding me accountable.
When you see those numbers, how much she struggled from the line since those missed free throws, really big for her to hit her first 4 here today. Here's Flau'jae. Lost the handle. Raven Johnson comes up with it, running with Latson. Latson dives in and is fouled. Who took over in those final minutes of the fourth to even create that opportunity for LSU as they were coming back.
We were talking to Kim Mulkey before today's game, and you asked her, what's your biggest takeaway from that first meeting? And she said, we got to make free throws. 9 missed free throws in that game.
Latson off to a good start today. Williams. Crowd wanted to travel, as you can hear. Very heavy South Carolina crowd here in Greenville, not too far from Columbia. Here's Raven. Enters the paint. Little push shot is good. 10-6 lead for the Gamecocks. For Wiley, back iron and off. Joyner gives LSU another chance. For Wiley, spinning, banking, and finishing. South Carolina quickly down the floor. Latson sheds her defender. Tanaya Latson, excellent in this opening quarter. For Wiley, races to the rim.
Both of these teams love to get up and down the floor.
Johnson having trouble getting it in. Here's Tessa Johnson, denied by Knox.
See both coaches going to their benches relatively early, really smart with minutes. Grace Knox just there to meet Tessa Johnson on that one.
It's Maddie McDaniel in. She gave South Carolina really strong minutes in the win against Kentucky yesterday in the quarters. Here's McDaniel. 7 to shoot. McDaniel can't hit the three. Joyner the rebound. Flaugier draws two, knocks the cutter, banks it in, tied at 12 in this upcoming WNBA draft. Here's Raven Johnson into traffic, good hands from Edwards, got denied by Knox, and then a held ball, possession arrow belongs to LSU.
Kim Mulkey said she has really come into her own stride since the Ole Miss game. She sat Michaela Williams in the fourth quarter of that game, and Flaugier had time on the court with the starters. That has helped propel her into this new confident version we're seeing of her the last few games.
Dee Kantner, our rules analyst, is with us. The first glance.
She does not have her arms in a vertical position, so that's what the official sees. It does look like ball. I can't tell from that angle. If she follows through and hits on the wrist, prevents, ball projecting to the hip, to the rim.
Let's take another look, D.
Notice those angles down. That's not vertical. It looks on the arm there.
Yep. Knox, the freshman, an incredible athlete. Here's Latson. Latson puts it down in traffic and then draws the foul as Tanaya Latson will go to the line. He's the first player since at least the 09-10 season to score 22 points, 8 assists, 3 blocks in a game off the bench.
South Carolina going with a little bit of a smaller lineup with Joyce Edwards at the 5 spot, McKeer at the 4.
Knox trying to post Raven Johnson. Flaugier can't finish the lay. Raven out to Latson. Latson has 8 points in this first quarter. 2:30 to go in the first. Raven Johnson will pull and hit.
How about Raven Johnson? That beginning of that possession, South Carolina looked a little out of sorts. She called for the basketball, called for the screen, and then drained it.
Flaugier with a beautiful drive. Last meeting, Raven Johnson, terrific against LSU at 19 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. Was 3 of 5 from 3. Latson, sure. Richard, no. Follows it up. She was 1 of 10 against South Carolina back on February 14th. For Wiley, McKeer knocks it into the backcourt. 4 to shoot. For Wiley with 2 to shoot. Will put it up. Way off the mark. And for Wiley was trying to tell Joyner, look, I was trying to tell you to set the screen for me to shoot. And Joyner was saying, look at the shot. 4 turnovers for LSU. McDaniel working behind Edwards. McKeer, the spin. Good no call. McDaniel finds Edwards, who lays it in. Edwards coming off 21 in the quarterfinals. Shot clock is turned off. Richard on the drive, lays it in at the buzzer. And that'll do it for the first. South Carolina, a 4-point lead after one.
She's got 10 points, hasn't missed, has also gotten to the free throw line. And Ryan, yesterday in the game against Kentucky, she had 6 assists. She also drew 5 fouls. So not only getting herself to the line, but trying to get the opponent into foul trouble can be a really impactful way to play. And she's been able to do that.
Holly Rowe.
The transfer portal is one thing, but Taniyah Latson came into South Carolina, and she was already best friends with Raven Johnson. They were high school teammates, won a high school national championship in 2021 at Westlake High School in Atlanta. Taniyah has fit in seamlessly, and John Staley said she's been a great addition to this roster.
Seen her passing really expand, her defending grow. All things that help with the WNBA draft. One of the reasons why she went to South Carolina is Richard.
Playing the 5, Michaela Williams the 4. Both of them are actually 3s.
Tessa Johnson can't hit. Here comes Williams. Michaela Williams, the spin and the finish. What a move from Michaela Williams. After Kim Mulkey called out Michaela Williams coming off the floor at the end of the first quarter. Joyce Edwards gets fouled by Johnson, and free throws here for Edwards. Michaela Williams, double-double 3 of her last 4 games. She is part of that incredibly talented junior class.
It just sort of tickles me, Ryan, that these 2 programs and 2 coaches who are known for having dominant bigs inside are playing small ball right now.
For Wiley. Oh, what a quick burst. What a take. Malaysia for Wiley. Edwards has it taken away by Wiley. Wiley racing to the rim. Pumps it home. Dawn Staley as aware as anybody of the way Wiley can change a game. Raven Johnson off to Edwards, back to Raven. She'll fire and hit.
She's got a good look. She's taking it.
Michaela Williams hesitated for a moment. Looking to drive it instead. Zakiya Johnson gets denied. Edwards on the rejection. Edwards pull up. No. Here comes Wiley. Wiley gets fouled. Wiley having herself quite the half. Topped her scoring from the first meeting between these teams. Make it 10 for Wiley. See the bench advantage for LSU. Edwards trying to save it. Could not. Out of bounds to LSU. South Carolina has won each of the last 3 SEC tournaments. LSU has not won it since 2003. Here's Wiley. Zipping through the lane. Malaysia giving South Carolina the full Wiley. 12 points off the bench for Malaysia Wiley as Latson gets fouled. You see the difference from the first meeting to today for the Columbia native. Asked Dawn Staley, what do you say to Malaysia about this meeting? Just play like you did yesterday.
She also mentioned matching up better in transition defense. A lot of conversation between the players on how they can communicate better and improve the defense right now.
All right, thank you, Hal. Williams baseline jumper rims out. Edwards battling and winning the board.
South Carolina in that last possession still in their zone defense. One of the reasons you go zone, if you're having trouble keeping your player in front of you, trying to keep them out of the paint.
Here is Latson, 8 to shoot. Raven Johnson pulls from the mid-range, short. Richard the rebound. For Wiley with space in transition, throws it away. Edwards on the steal. Here's Joyce Edwards. Off to Tessa, her 3 is good. Tied at 29 in a scintillating opening half between LSU and South Carolina. Ole Miss and Texas up next. Here's Koval. And a travel. The SEC Championship right here at 3 Eastern on ESPN. Here's Edwards. Okot got 2 early fouls, now back in. Johnson connects! Flaugier looking to answer, cannot. Williams the rebound. Williams puts it in.
LSU has been so good at getting those second opportunities, in particular against the zone, the offensive boards.
Here's Edwards, kicking it out. Raven Johnson, back iron it off. Joyner back in, hugs the rebound. Richard quickly heads to Fulwiley. Fulwiley got denied by Edwards. Good contest from the sophomore. Here's Okot, banks it up and off. Lats in the O board, and the putback. Joyner lays it in on a beautiful delivery from Flaugier. South Carolina projected 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. LSU at 2, but could get to a 1 potentially if they were to win the SEC tournament. It's not off the table. Raven leaves it short. Here comes Williams. Off to Fulwiley. Bella Hines. Finally in. Fulwiley, a deep one. You bet! And LSU's first 3 of the game after they missed their first 8 attempts. It ping-pongs around and ends up out of bounds off of the Gamecocks. About a 15-second difference, game and shot clock. Richard attacks, dishes. Joyner, the hook is good. It's time to hold for a final shot. Just a slight difference, game and shot clock.
Bella Hines just completely trying to deny Tessa Johnson.
Here's Edwards, finding the cutter, Tessa Johnson, who lays it in. 5 seconds left, still time for LSU. Richard through the lane, gives it up. Joyner banks it in. Count it.
So good in that first half.
Take a look at the game summary. South Carolina's first halftime deficit of this tournament since 2019. South Carolina has won the last 18 meetings between these schools, and Mylasia Fulwiley starts the second half for LSU as they start small. Fulwiley can't wrap that one in, and Raven Johnson comes up with it. South Carolina also hampered by the foul trouble of Okot in that first half. Here is Edwards twisting inside, missed the layup, rebound, back to Edwards, push shot is good. Flaugier, and that's out of bounds off of LSU. Okot kicks it out, Latson. Richard at the deck. Latson gets denied by Fulwiley. Here comes Flaugier. Flaugier up under and off. Good defense from the SEC Defensive Player of the Year, Raven Johnson. Tessa loses it. Williams at 3. No. Rebound, knocked out of bounds. It'll stay here. Fulwiley short on that one. Okot the rebound. Edwards running. Follows it up and puts it in. Plus the foul.
Joyce Edwards stays with it. Gets a chance for the and 1.
Second foul on Michaela Williams as Edwards.
She is an excellent shot blocker from the guard position.
Here is Williams. Williams bodying in, fading away, and getting the roll. Latson finds Okot, waiting, can't finish it. Joyner was a factor. Here comes Richard. Latson denies her. Talked about the improved defense of Tania Latson. Here is Richard working behind Joyner. Flaugier a three. Rims off. LSU just 1 of 11 from three. That was a storyline in the first meeting between these teams. Raven Johnson tears through. Here's Flaugier. Giving it up. Joyner puts it on the deck. Little push shot. Won't go.
The experience of the veteran Raven Johnson slowing things down, understanding that South Carolina wants to run a set here.
Dawn Staley told us that first meeting played in the 70s. Said that's good for us against LSU. LSU's 22-0 this season when scoring 80 or more. Raven Johnson connects. Another three for Raven.
South Carolina playing zone here again. It was effective for them except for on the glass in the first half.
Richard fires and hits from three. How juicy this rivalry has been in recent years, and how close the games have been. But they haven't won since 2012. Okot finds Johnson laying it in.
Cuts to the basket, gets the ball back.
Richard against the zone, throws it away. That pass didn't have a chance. Tessa will fire. No. And then a steal from Johnson. Tessa Johnson gets fouled by Williams. That'll be the third on Michaela Williams. Free throws for Tessa Johnson. Tessa Johnson at the line. This is the first, a Thursday on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. You'll get never before seen footage, sound from the players and coaches. It's a really great inside look. Richard firing again. That one rims off. Stays here, but South Carolina may appeal it.
And I mean, every person has sort of their system. His is to have the finger in the air, and as soon as he has a definitive answer, yes, it's time to go to the replay, and this is why it clearly goes off of LSU.
And you hear the crowd reacting as they make that announcement. And yeah, Dawn dapping up Hudson saying, thank you, my man.
It is definitive, so if there's doubt, the officials should be a little more laconic, methodical, putting the ball back in play.
I want to know what Dawn Staley's reaction and all coaches, what their reactions are if the video person gets it wrong. That's a stressful job.
Raven Johnson off to McDaniel. 4 to shoot. Raven on the drive. McDaniel a three. You bet! Largest lead of the game for South Carolina on an 11-3 run. Richard connects from deep.
Just brings something a little bit different off the bench for South Carolina.
And it was about a month and a half ago, Dawn Staley said to us, hey, talk about Mousy. She's coming, meaning Maddie McDaniel. Left that one short. Okot can't bank it in. Rebound Edwards, another chance for South Carolina. Raven Johnson connects. Joyner gets denied. Okot. Banker won't go. Good box out there from Richard on the bigger Edwards. Richard on the drive. What a bounce back game. It was 1 of 10 in the first meeting.
But that was the first possession in this quarter where LSU has really been able to push pace and transition, and that's where they can be so good.
Tessa Johnson, little pull-up mid-range is good. For Wiley with the answer. McDaniel giving it up. Okad, not that time. She's become a very good three-point shooter. LSU has the shot clock turned off, but Wiley doesn't realize it. Wiley lays it in. Kim Mulkey shaking her head, knowing South Carolina gets a chance at a possession here. Raven Johnson fading and hitting. And that's why Kim Mulkey was shaking her head. And LSU not holding for the final. Dawn was talking with us earlier in the year. You see Ravens tied a career high and made threes. LSU just 3 for 15 from three, all of them uncontested. She said, social media hasn't known, but if you know basketball, you know the game, you know Raven Johnson's value. And the way she has blossomed this season has just been incredible. And Dawn was talking to us yesterday about just how proud she is of Raven for her to weather the storm. She came back to South Carolina for an additional year, and there is no doubt it did wonders for her draft stock this coming year as well.
Oh, without question. And she is a much improved player this season, just in terms of her confidence when looking for her own shot.
Michaela Williams with 6 points. Flau'jae Johnson, 1 of 8 from the floor, has just 6 points. Can they get going? Knox denied. Joyner there for the follow.
LSU goes to their wing pick and roll against the man-to-man and able to hit the roller.
Now remember, the first meeting between these teams is Johnson short on a 3. Michaela Williams and Flau'jae had really struggled until midway through the fourth. They got going, and so did LSU. But right now, it's Knox running free for the lay. As the ball back down one possession.
As the ball was rolling around the ring.
Kim Mulkey sending her right back to the scorer's table. Joyner was confused. Here's Okad. Misses the layup. And here comes LSU for Wiley. Across her body and in. 21 for Malaysia for Wiley. I think with Joyner was once Kim saw that Okad was coming in, realized she wanted Joyner on the floor. And a whistle here. Foul on for Wiley. You see the difference for Malaysia. Her second game against her former team versus her struggles on Valentine's Day. Now Flau'jae is checked out. Joyner in as Kim Mulkey decides not to stay small with Okad back into the game for South Carolina. For Wiley will pull and hit. Here's Latson. Edwards muscles it inside and off the window. They are 0-6, and the point total drops off the table. Flau'jae on the bench. Knox, Williams, Richard, Joyner for Wiley. Here's Michaela Williams. Didn't get a whistle. Tessa Johnson out there with Raven, Okad, Edwards, and Latson. Raven dumps it out. Okad, 1 of 11 from the floor, but hits that.
She almost did a full 360 pirouette before deciding to take that shot. So comfortable facing the basket.
Just 4 points, but has 12 boards. For Wiley, dancing, dishing, Williams. Can't hit. Michaela Williams with a great look. Now 3 of 10 from the floor. Edwards with a runway, dumps it in. 6-0 South Carolina run. Richard with space. Drains the 3. Her third of the game. And Kim Mulkey will take a timeout.
Nice little boost for LSU's offense from the guard position.
17 for Richard. Here's Latson. Latson diving in and laying it home. Latson now with 15. Richard off to Joyner. Joyner put it on the deck, got blocked by Edwards. Hand off Latson, her 3. Off the mark. Richard the rebound. LSU looking to run. For Wiley. Spinning through traffic. Finds Knox, who gets fouled. And Knox will shoot 2. Grace Knox and then Michaela Williams and Flaugier saying, let's go, let's go. And then Bob Starkey pushing away Michaela Williams. And you can see Michaela saying, get off me. So things getting a little testy on that LSU sideline. And Rebecca, do you feel like if you're Kim Mulkey, you got to find...
Richard has been so good. Full Wiley has been good. Michaela Williams has been solid.
Could go to your 4-guard lineup if you wanted. Latson gets fouled. And Latson, your best player back on the floor.
Yeah, try to get out. She was talking about the speed she got from that lineup in the first half in her interview with Holly. You got to corral the board first, though.
The other thing we did see from Flaugier, she struggled most of that first meeting and then was fantastic in the final minutes bringing them back until those missed free throws. So you have small lineup for LSU against big lineup for South Carolina. Under 3 to go. 6-point Gamecock lead. Joyner dribbled it off the foot of Okot. Latson in transition. Can't finish it. Edwards can. Williams, they need it. They've got it. And LSU will take a timeout, setting up her defense in moments like this. South Carolina, 5-point lead.
Kim Mulkey telling her team, come up. You're supposed to be in full court defense.
Raven Johnson, a career high 22 points, 9 of 13 shooting, also has 5 assists. Edwards, too easy. That's where the size advantage helps out South Carolina.
Great play call by Dawn Staley, attacking the mismatch.
18 and 11 for Edwards. For Wiley, what a pass to Knox. SEC Semifinals championship tomorrow, 3 Eastern on ESPN. Raven Johnson bouncing. Okot lays it in. For Wiley, throws it away. Raven Johnson. No. Still some life for LSU. Down 7. Need a bucket in a hurry. Williams can't float it in, but gets the whistle. And Michaela Williams will go to the line.
Uses the on ball, delivers it to Okot. And then Raven took and missed the mid-range pull-up, but terrific game management by South Carolina.
Williams hits them both. 5-point game. Timeout, South Carolina, with 45 seconds remaining. But here South Carolina is on the brink of a 19th straight win against LSU. Raven Johnson gives it up. LSU not fouling, letting a lot of time wind down. Still not fouling. Okot kicks it out. Raven Johnson wisely waits. I mean, LSU does not have time to play out the entire possession as South Carolina takes a timeout now. Raven Johnson will inbound. Gets it into Okot. Okot surrounded. 1 to shoot, and Okot beats the shot clock. A huge fist bump from Dawn Staley. She knows it's over. Williams' 3 is good. A 4-point game with 8.9 to go. But here's South Carolina with the ball, 8.9 to go, leading by 4. Into Latson. Latson will lay it in. That will do it. 6-point game. Wiley will launch. South Carolina makes it 19 straight against LSU. The Gamecocks are headed back to the SEC title game.
A great balanced attack by South Carolina. 4 players in double figures. Terrific game management the entire time, but in particular the last few minutes of the game, and a massive performance from Raven Johnson.
Raven Johnson, a career high 22 points, also had 8 assists. And South Carolina headed to a 7th straight SEC title game.